Hey everyone, James from Golfify. I really appreciate you checking out our website. In this video, I'm just going to give you a quick overview on what Golfify does. So Golfify is for anybody who's scoring a round of golf. It could be a casual game with your friends, or it could be a 400-player competition. You can use Golfify in each of these scenarios or anything in between. It will scale to your needs. It will still work as quick on the 400-player competition as it does on the 4-player competition. So in this demo, I've got two devices open, and I've got a different account signed in on each one. So what I'm planning to do is I'll run through the competition, how you create it, and how you get your friends into it, and then give you a quick insight into the scoring. So let's get started. Any user on Golfify can create a golf competition. We believe that's the way it should be. To do that, you just need to tap this button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You may also have a prompt in your above here saying create your first competition if you've just created an account. So you tap the circle and you tap competition. You can also create groups. Groups are basically an area where you can get all your golfing friends together, and it makes it easier to invite them to events. We'll take a quick look at those later on. But first, let's tap competition, and you can give your competition a name, start date, start time. I'm happy with them, the defaults as they are. You can also give it a description. So, for example, if there's a presentation or if there's some other information you want to give to your golfers, this is a good place to do it. Next, we want to choose a facility. I'm going to choose Baildon in Yorkshire. It may ask you for your location here. You don't have to give it. It's just that if you give your location, this nearby tab will show you courses that are close to you. If you don't want to use that, you can also use the Browse tab and the Search tab at the top of the screen. So let's choose Baildon in Yorkshire. And you can then choose the tees at this facility. And you can see there's a selection of tees there available. You want to see this slope rating shown there. If it's not showing, you can add that by going into the tees on Golfify, which I'll show you how to do later on. So press next. You can next choose the scoring method. There's two available on Golfify at the minute, which is stroke play and Stableford. We're hoping to bring match play out soon. And so select Stableford. I think we'll go with that today. It's slightly more forgiving for when players have a higher score. And then we're going to choose the competing as. So at the moment, it's competing as an individual. We're going to change that to, for this example, to pairs, and then better ball. So the team game format is better ball. You can see when you select a team format, which is a pairs, 3-person or 4-person game, you get a whole number of different team format options. We're gonna go with better ball for this example. And in better ball, you can choose. Obviously, at this stage, it's going to be the best score from the pairing. If you wanted to make it the best to make both scores in the pairing count, you can toggle this here. But we'll leave it as one score to count. And then handicap allowances, you can adjust those if you want. They're always set at the defaults, the recommended defaults for the game format you've chosen. So if you're not too sure about them, I recommend leaving them. But if you say wanted to get create a competition where everyone had a 0 handicap, you could set this to 0%, and that would create, in effect, a scratch golf competition. So again, quite useful tool. Let's press next. Here, we're going to choose the number of players per grouping. As we're playing in pairs, it makes sense to play with 4 players per grouping. You can, if you want, change that to 2, but it won't let you, for example, in a pairs competition, play with 3 players in the grouping. We're going to select the number of groupings. I'm going to go with 2, but you can go right the way up to 400 players in a competition. Shotgun start. So if you want to have players starting on different holes, we support that, and you can also add that later if you've maybe just got 1 or 2 pairs that are going off different holes to make things a bit quicker at the start of your competition. You can adjust individual groupings to start on a different hole later on. We're going to leave that off for now, and I think we're ready to review and create this competition. So happy with the information, we press create. And it's really that simple to create a competition. You can do it in a matter of seconds. And then you have this screen, which shows you how to share your competition. So you have the first option, which is a magic link. A magic link is really cool. You can drop that into a WhatsApp group. You can drop it into a Facebook group. You can drop it into an email. Basically, anybody who has that link can click it, and they will get access to your competition homepage if they have the app installed. If they don't have the app installed, it will take them to the App Store to download it. So this link doesn't give permission to join the competition, but it gets the players to your competition homepage where they can enter. If you wanted to give a more precise invitation to your competition, you can enter an email in below. and that will send. We'll show you this, and you can do all of this in the player manager. By the way, this is just the a quick screen to do it as soon as you've created an event. So you can send an email that will show up as a notification in a user's account, and you'll also get an email off Golfify giving them instructions to get into your event. Finally, you can also invite groups. The groups I mentioned earlier, you can invite all the members of that group in one tap by simply tapping on a group below. So that's a quick insight into how to get players into your competition. Let's go to our competition, and I can show you these in a little bit more detail. So we're in our competition. We are the host of the competition. This account is signed in as Tiger Woods. So to get to your player manager, you can either click where it's this player's chip here, or you can click the settings icon and then player manager. So this is the player manager. This is where you manage all the tee sheet, the pairings for your competition, and you can remove players, you can add players, you can apply handicap overrides in here. So let's jump into the invite tab, which is very similar to the screen we were just on before. Again, you've got the magic link there, and again, you've got the email. So let me just show you how this email works. You can type an email in. And then just be sure to add a comma at the end of it, and that will make sure the email is validated properly. You can add as many emails as you want here. You can just copy and paste a bunch of emails in. There's no limit on how many emails you can put in there, and then you just simply press send. And this device on the right hand side here is actually signed in under the email that we just sent that to. The device doesn't. You may send an email to someone who doesn't have a Golfify account. That's totally fine. They'll get an email with all the instructions of how to create their Golfify account and then how to join your competition. So you hopefully won't need to spend any time explaining to people, what they need to press and how they get in there. It should be really clear, really easy for them to do it. And then if we just go to this device on the right hand side and we tap Tiger Woods, tap the notification symbol, we can see that Tiger Woods has sent an invitation, and all that user needs to do is tap that, and then they're in the competition home area and they can enter the competition right there. So very simple stuff. I hope it's really easy for you to get your players in. Looking back down here, all your people you've ever invited, because you might be thinking, well, I don't want to enter the email in every time, and don't worry, you don't have to, because anybody you ever invite to a competition will be stored under the recently invited section below. So you can see that Justin Rose, which is the account we just invited on the right hand side here, has already been invited. It's got a light blue tick. So if I go to Justin Rose's account now and enter myself into this competition, let's just say slot number 3 there, and review, what you'll see happen there is on the device on the left here, that circle changed from a light blue circle with a tick to a navy circle with a double tick, which now tells you that Justin Rose has not only got the invitation, but he's accepted it and he's now entered your competition. So in one screen, you can get really good insight into what's going on in your event. You can also, if you have a lot of players, say 50 players, you might want to just press see all, and then you can then filter them by name. You can see who you haven't invited yet, see who you have invited, etc., etc. Really good to get an insight on where your players are at and if they've managed to get into the competition or not. You'll see Nelly Corder. We've invited her to a previous competition, but we've not invited her to this one yet. And to make that invitation, all you need to do as a host is tap, and that's it. Nelly Corder has got an email with an invitation to this competition, and hopefully she'll be able to join soon. The only thing that I've not mentioned yet in the invite section is you may be thinking, well, this is great, but I've got some players that I know won't be able to use the app. They're perhaps not super tech savvy. They may not have a smartphone. There could be a variety of reasons that you need to add a player which isn't using an app. And to do that, you just come to the bottom of the screen here and tap this players not using the app, and you can just fill in their information and add them in. If you use their email, it's really cool because they can claim that account down the line. So they have the data of the rounds they played under that account. But yeah, if you don't have their email, it's also not a problem. Just use something maybe at your organization. Yeah, so that's how you add an inactive player. I'm not going to do that for this competition, just to save time on the example, but that functionality is there. And you can also, you don't need an active user in a group because you can enter scores as the host of the competition. But obviously, if you do that, you probably lose out on the real-time element and which is very fun and exciting. So we recommend you get as many players onto the app as possible. So let's go back to the competition homepage. And what I'm going to do, I'm the host of this competition, but I'm actually going to join it as well as a player. So I'm going to join as Tiger Woods and put myself in the first group. And you see this Add Buddy tab. This is just something you can send a buddy request to people you play golf with a lot. And what that means is you can add them to competitions and they can add you to competitions when they join them. So it just makes the adding process a little bit simpler. So you only need, like, if you've got a group of buddies, say 4 or 5 buddies, one buddy can add everyone to the competition when they join. So it just saves people a bit of time. So Tiger Woods has got a couple of buddies and I'm going to add those in. I'm going to add Nelly Corder. I'm going to put her in to slot number 2. And then I've got Georgia Hall, who I'm going to put into slot number 4. And I'm going to review and confirm. And there you see everyone's got the updates. As soon as those updates are made, Justin Rose got those, and so did the device here that we're organizing the competition from. So you can see we've got a really nice display. This is the kind of home page of your competition. The user can see which grouping they're in. They can see information about the competition. Let's jump straight into the scoring to show you how that works. So you can see scorecard here. Now, as the host of the competition, I first have to activate it. And what this means is really it's just a point in time where you're saying, I'm happy with all the settings of this competition. We're not going to change them after this. So when the host activates the competition, you won't be able to change the whole order and things like that. So let's just activate this competition. That's it. The competition is now activated. And now I can activate the round. Any player in the grouping can activate the round. Only the host of the competition can activate the competition. So you can see this is just a summary on the handicaps. These are all very good players. So they've got plus handicaps. Yeah, and this is just show it works off the world handicap system. So this is a course handicap. This is the handicap allowance, which we discussed earlier. And then finally, the playing handicap, which is the most important. That's the number of shots that player is getting on the day. So I'm going to activate the round. And just so you can see how this works in real time, I'm going to jump into the scorecard on the device on the right-hand side here. And you can see we're seeing pretty much the same thing. So I'm just going to enter a few scores and you'll see how quickly these scores update from device to device. And this would be the same right across your competition. So you can imagine these are 2 devices out on the course. Okay, so we've entered a bunch of scores there, and you kind of get the point. It's really quick to enter scores, and that's super important. We want this to be a very simple experience. We don't want people to be moving around from screen to screen. All the scores are there, like they would be on traditional golf scorecard. Now you can see at the moment we've got the team view selected. So what we're seeing here is the scores for the team. Where this is the best ball competition. Don't forget. So we've got Tiger Woods and we've got Nelly Corder. And they're the 2 columns here. And then we've got Justin Rose and Georgia Hall. These are the final 2 columns. You can see they're both 2 under gross. The first team went par, par, and then the eagle made them 2 under gross. The second team went birdie, birdie, par. So that's how the scoring works. Now, you can also switch to an individual view, so you can see how everyone's doing individually. This is really cool. You can basically run an individual competition alongside a team competition. You could have a prize for each. That's just by default. Every better ball competition on Golfify will support this. And yeah, this is pretty much how it works. And you can see you can enter scores on any device, and they'll show up in real time. Now, as you can see at the top, we've got some tabs. It's super easy. What you don't want to be doing out on the course is pressing back and going around the app trying to find the leaderboard. You can simply swipe to the right to get the leaderboard. It's that simple. And then again, you can toggle between the individual and the team leaderboards. You can do that for the competition feed. So this is basically a real-time chat inside your competition, and you can send messages to it. These are automated alerts that are coming through. You can turn those off if you want, or you can leave them on to add a bit more excitement. So updates when people make a birdie, updates when people make an eagle. Yeah, you check those out in your competition settings. And then finally, you can swipe one more to the right you start to see the stats coming in for this competition. So you can see an eagle there. You can see who's made the eagle. It's Nelly Corder. And you get a bunch of stats. The more holes you play, the more stats you see. So jumping back to the card, when you're ready with your round, you can press submit the scores, and that will finalize the scores so they can't be changed again. And that's it. That's Golfify in a nutshell. It's a really simple way to host a competition. Doesn't matter if you're 4 players or if you're 400 players. I believe real-time scoring and making sure everyone knows the score as they're going really makes a golf competition more exciting. So yeah, I think I pretty much showed you everything. I will just show you quickly the groupings tab. I'm not sure I did cover that. So this is where you can see your players in the competition. You can see this group is now live, and you have some options where you can reset that round if you want. You can close the round, which will finish the round. You can also view the scorecard. As I mentioned, you could. So if you had inactive users, this is a really useful tool. You can view the scorecard, and as the admin of the competition, you can also enter scores like so. And again, it's the same view that the player gets in the competition. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Golfify. I'm sure that was a really quick tour. There's a lot more I'd like to show you. The group section, if I'll just give you a quick view of those, you can jump into a group, you can create your own group, give it a custom picture, give it a custom profile picture, and then invite your friends to be in the group using the share button up there. And that just at the moment, that will allow you to invite all the members of this group to your competition in simple as one tap. In the future, groups will be used to create competitions and like a Ryder Cup style event. That's where we're going. But at the moment, this is what the groups can do. So yeah, I really appreciate you checking out Golfify. I'm sure you might have some questions. Feel free to email us at support@golfify.io. We'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And I really hope you enjoy using the app. Cheers.